Welcome to the Liberating Beauty Podcast. I'm Rebecca, your host, and together we'll explore the spirit of beauty, how beauty invites new possibilities, enlivens us to inhabit our innate creativity, and connects us more deeply with ourselves and with each other. We'll have conversations and share reflections that invite you into a frequency of gentleness, truth, and mystery. I'm so glad you're here. If you find the Liberating Beauty Podcast meaningful, please consider supporting our work. To donate, follow the link in the show notes to the Together in Beauty website, home to this podcast, along with other offerings to accompany you on your journey of spiritual becoming. Please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast wherever you listen. And as always, thank you for your support and for being here with us. Welcome back to the Liberating Beauty Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I've been excited all day to connect with you and to share the latest musings that have been delighting my mind and my senses as I think about what it feels like to inhabit a beautiful life, a creative life, and a natural life. What caught my attention in the mundane, everyday way of things this week was unexpected. It was actually on the cover of the bag of food that I feed one of my cats, that I've fed her for probably at least 15 years. The brand of the food that I feed her is called Taste of the Wild. And I've seen that brand and that food in my house for years, and I never really thought about it much more than, oh, this is how sweet. My cat gets a little taste of what it's like to eat natural food as she would if she was in her natural habitat in the wild. But for some reason, I saw that name and it struck me differently this week, which was this different take. It was, what would it be like if each of us was able to share that little bit of our wildness freely in the world? What would it feel like to even know what that wildness is and to trust it? Because so many of us have been told to fear, have been taught to fear that wildness because it's something that's unknowable, it's untamable, it's uncontrollable. And just recently I was thinking, well, we could also talk about wildness as mystery, that little bit of mystery in each and every single one of us that is that fractal of the divine or the universe, God, however it is that you connect with the universal beauty of all things and creatures and beings. And I thought, what would it mean if we were excited and encouraged to share the little bit of mystery, that little bit of natural wildness in us in our everyday lives, and not to be scared of it, to not fear that if in sharing a little bit of who we are, that suddenly everything will slip away, that it's almost that things will kind of cascade out of hand and suddenly we won't know who we are. We'll have some kind of identity crisis. I may only be speaking about myself, but I don't think that I am. I think that for many of us, sharing our true nature can feel very intimidating. It feels like it is one of the first things that is asked of us. We're asked to put it down. We're asked to support the comfort of people around us in order to stay attached and engaged. So today I'm just kind of reveling in what it would feel like to start practicing first just kind of coming into contact with that wildness, with that mystery and naturalness in ourselves, to start befriending it, or perhaps it befriends us, because my sense is that that wildness is, contrary to what the word might conjure up, is, I sense it's quiet. There's a confidence and a gracefulness about it, because it knows who it is and what it is. Kind of like a lion. I think of lions, they're not jumping and pouncing at all the little creatures. They know who they are and they know where they stand. And I think that wildness is very similar, just waiting for us to listen, to spend time with coming back into contact with who it is that we are. And when I think about, who have been some of the teachers, spiritual leaders, authors who started helping me to come in contact with that wildness in myself. The person I think of most of all is Clarissa Pinkola Estes, starting with her book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is an absolute classic. She shares this quote that I love. She says, "Within every woman, there is a wild and natural creature, a powerful force, filled with good instincts, passionate creativity, and ageless knowing. Her name is Wild Woman, but she is an endangered species." And that piece about the endangered species, whoa, and that really speaks to me. It speaks to me because I know what it feels like, and I'll be curious to hear from you all as you're taking this in. I know what it feels like when that naturalness in me encounters the rigidity and the density of the world as it is. When I speak in a way that probably isn't yet ready to make its way into words yet, but I kind of push past that natural instinct to just wait, allow the words to come into form. But because I want to be able to participate in the world, I sometimes go too quickly to try to explain how I feel or where I'm at or what I see. And there's a feeling of, how do I stand up straight when this wildness hits the density of life as it is, and there's a discomfort or a pushback? So there's a call to action in a way that sounds a bit formal, a bit instrumental. There's something that's being asked of us right now in this moment. Let me put it that way, of a reckoning and a standing up straight, a staying upright, even when the words aren't there yet, even when we encounter repeated misunderstanding, to stay with our kind of linger in our wildness that we may not even understand yet, to stay there a little bit longer than might be comfortable, so that when we speak, when we communicate, express in any way, it might not even be spoken, we can stay as true as we can to what that wildness in us is trying to share. And the great thing is, and another thing I really love about the title of this food is, it's not about needing to share everything and all the things all at once. It's like it's a taste. Taking these moments to just share a little taste of what it feels like to be us. And to practice just in moments the staying upright, to noticing responses within ourselves and in others as we practice staying upright, and to trusting the benevolence of what's coming through us, even if we don't fully understand it yet. Clarissa Pinkola Estes has this other quote that I find so useful about how to find those places to practice standing upright, to staying in that wild nature. She says this: "The doors to the world of the wild self are few but precious. If you have a deep scar, that is a door. If you yearn for a deeper life, a full life, a sane life. That is a door. What are the doors? What are the doorways that you're noticing where that wild, natural self is calling? I've been noticing lately, by the way, exhaustion is a really powerful door. And I used to think it was like only a signal that I've been kind of bypassing my own limits or pushing too hard, but I think it's more than that. I think that exhaustion is also a way of the soul saying, we're trying too hard to fit within the matrix. We're trying too hard to find a way of being that is comfortable for other people and even ourselves. And when we get to a point where that exhaustion becomes so much, there's this beautiful opportunity to say, what would it be like if I lingered in my naturalness just a little bit longer? What if I didn't fear what would happen if I didn't know how to say anything in a conversation that you could feel there was some expectation to comment, to defend, to explain, and you just didn't? What would that be like? So I invite you this week to notice, where are these doors for these ways of coming into contact with that wildness and practicing just sharing that taste? Where are there places to revel in who we are and to start sharing, even when it's uncomfortable, sharing a bit of how it is that we see the world from our unique fractal, the bit of divinity that lives within us, the bit of mystery that is ours, and to trust that doing so gives permission to others to do the same. It's so generative, it's so loving to stay with the most honest way of being that we have available. I think that's what's being called for right now. So I want to leave you with this question as you're meditating or moving with or sensing into wildness. It's what's the wildness in you that's yearning to be known? How do you come in contact with it? What do you feel? What does it feel like when it's knocking and you don't answer? What do you feel like when it's knocking and you do? I'm going to leave you there for now. It's such an interesting thing sharing these reflections with you each episode, because each one of them, the topics come to me, I see words, I connect with them differently, but the way that I ultimately end up sharing each episode is quite different. The way the intuition kind of pulls me to share. And this week I had a sense of, even though I don't fully understand what it means to connect with the wildness in myself, or how to share it in these small ways, or when I regularly encounter the challenge and the discomfort of staying with the unknowing long enough because I think I need to fill silence. But even though I don't fully understand it in myself yet, there's something truer than words that I do connect with, and that I feel that I embody. And I've felt it through learning from, Clarissa Pinkola Estes, or Morgan Harper Nichols, or Andrea Gibson, poets and writers and scholars who really have a sense of what it means to come in contact with beauty and truth and fear, and to walk it wholeheartedly. And I hope that in sharing what I have today with you, you come into contact with a resonance of something that feels true, that wakes up some of that mystery with you, within your life, within everyday moments. And as you do, I would really love to hear from you. about what that wildness feels like and how you're finding ways to express it that feel safe, that feel honoring, that feel creative, that feel beautiful. So love to hear those in the comments, or for you to email me at rebecca@togetherin beauty.com. And until next time, may you walk wildly in beauty. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Liberating Beauty Podcast. To learn more about the podcast, my work, and how I can support you on your journey of spiritual becoming, head over to the Together in Beauty website or email me at rebecca@togetherin beauty.com. It's an honor to accompany you on the journey. A huge thank you to our multi-talented producer and co-creative director, Mapumba Cilombo. To learn more about Mapumba's work as a producer, sound engineer, and musician, check out the show notes for a link to his website at mapumbamusic.com. And as always, many thanks to you, our listeners. None of this would be possible without the energy, encouragement, and vitality that you reflect back to us each week. Until next time, may you walk in beauty.